What is up, people? It's your boy Tiger Baskins, dog fan. Don't let the tiger fool you. Um, we made this YouTube page way before we thought we'd be talking about college football, but we're gonna get right into it. Usually I wait a little bit, but for people who are watching this later, I feel like it's kind of respectful to you guys to just go right at it. So to begin with, my Georgia Bulldogs are playing the Ole Miss Sharks or Land Sharks, whatever they are, Hottie Toddy. I don't know, but we're playing them this Saturday. I think it is going to be a great game. I think Lane Kiffin is one of the best, if not the best, offensive mastermind in college football. Uh, would have argued that about Chip Kelly, but they are not doing the best right now. They are struggling a little bit. And I get it. I get it. It's Ohio State. They struggle all the time. They've been struggling to get over that hump for as long as as long as you've been watching college football, you've seen that. But it's been fun. I think Georgia's season this year has been a little bit of up and down for Georgia's expectations. I know other people would love to have the kind of season we're having right now. I get it. But first thing I'm going to start with is kind of go down the line of offense, defense, and then the in-betweens of the two. And first thing I'll say is offensively, we'll start with the negative. Offensively, everybody's talking about Carson. Well, we get it. I get it. We all get it. Carson is struggling. He's not himself. I don't know exactly. Are they giving him the keys to the offense and he's not ready to drive it? Is it what is it? Because he does a good job of moving on. This man will, walk around and throw an interception, then comes back and leads us to a drive for a touchdown, and then it's like all of a sudden he gets a little too hyped up, and he'll throw another interception, and it's like I don't understand that feel of I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that or this is gonna happen, and like it just seems like it's always something with Carson, but then it seems like he always comes back firing. So I hope he can get his stuff together. What's up, Daniel Barry? I hope he can get his stuff together. I really hope that he's going to come out in this game and kind of just keep it nice and sweet. You don't have to do too much. I think our defense is good enough to carry us the rest of the season. I think our defense is good enough to carry us to a national championship. So let's just play it smart. Let's get little yards here and there. Let the run game do its job. And I know I've been a huge, and I mean huge, I've been a huge critic when it comes to our run game and how we scheme things up. I've been very, very disappointed, very upset, all the little things, right? But the one thing I will say is it wears people down. We've got some very good offensive linemen. I feel like our running back room, even though it's thin, I think Nate Frazier is an amazing running back, especially, being a freshman. But ETN, what's up, CJ? ETN, he's going to be out, right? He's not out. He's probable. But he's not going to start. They've already said that ETN has a bruised rib. So it's like, hey, what's up, GOG? Already said he's got a bruised rib, which is tough in its own. Like Georgia is, it's not only next man up, it's the next man after the next man after the next man up. Roderick Robinson is out. Branson Robinson is out. Now you got ETN who just got banged up. You're now looking at your true freshman who is your fourth string guy and your fifth string guy in Dwight Phillips. You're going to have three freshmen out there, Nate Frazier, Dwight Phillips, and Chauncey Bowens, who are probably going to get reps. Chauncey may not unless they use him in a slot role. But Cash Jones, you've got him. So Georgia right now, we're going to see. I think you keep it sweet. I think you wear down Ole Miss. But the flip side, Ole Miss has arguably the greatest front seven in college football. They've got two D tackles that'll be drafted, one in Walter Nolan that's going to be drafted in the first round. They've got a defensive end that's looking at a first, second round pick. And then they've got a linebacker who they said he is a second round pick. Now, the other guys are going to get drafted too. So I'm just saying, just because they're not getting drafted in the first or second round, I mean, a draft pick is a draft pick. But to have all of that, can Georgia play it sweet? Can Georgia play it smart and cute and simple and just do, little things here and there? Throw the screen, run this, run the little hitches, run the little out routes. I don't know. I want to believe that because I'm a Georgia fan, but I'm trying not to be biased. But defensively, I do believe in Kirby, and I do believe in the way that he has been able to play Lane Kiffin. We've seen Lane struggle against Kirby over the years. That does not mean that he won't come out this year and throw up 55 points on Kirby. But Kirby does such a good job of getting people to do something different. And that, like I said, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me is, can Georgia make Ole Miss do something different? I hope they can, and I look forward to it. But our offense has got to be able to stay on the field and sustain drives, because if not, it's going to put our defense in a tough situation when they're going to have to be on the field the entire game with a very good quarterback, a very good rusher, um, and a very good wide receiver core. Right? I think they had a wide receiver last week go for 250 yards receiving. So, anyways, I think Georgia's going to do okay. Next, you've got Miami, who is dominating in college football, which some people say they're dominating. I think they're doing very good. And then you've got the other side of, they're seeming to they're winning a lot of shootouts. They seem to be a very good shootout team. Um, and that's a big thing. That's a skill. That's something that when it comes down to it, you're going to want your team to prove that they can play in that kind of mindset. Cam Ward seems to be a very good quarterback, but they play Georgia Tech this week, I believe. And Georgia Tech is the team that they lost to last year when they decided to run the ball instead of kneeling it and ended up fumbling the ball. Georgia Tech got it and ended up scoring. So Miami looks decent. Um, I don't know about Ohio State and Oregon. I personally don't think that they're that good. I think that they've played each other. I think Penn State's not as good either. Those three teams seem to be very vanilla. They're very boring to watch. Um, but the SEC is doing what we knew the SEC is doing. They're doing this whole beating up on each other, and that's why we're going to see a few teams with 2 losses in the SEC get into the playoff. But my personal opinion, I think Texas A&M is good, but I don't know how good. I know they had a slow start to the season, but it's going to take them having a big win to show that they deserve to be in. I think South Carolina has done enough to prove, but the way their schedule is, they're going to have to keep it up. You can't. The season doesn't just stop now. So, like I said, I'm curious about it. I think it's going to be a very a fun thing to watch. But I also wonder that where do we go from here type deal. I know that Ole Miss, their thing is their back is against the wall. If Ole Miss loses this game, they're out of the playoffs. That's why I do not see them. I don't see them trying to lose this game. But nobody tries to lose a game. I don't see them losing this game on their own. I think Georgia's going to have to beat them. Let's see what other good games we got coming up. Would probably be the move. CJ, if you're still on here, what do you think about you guys playing Georgia Tech? Completely forgot about that. What about you guys playing Miami? I think Miami is a much better team this year with Cam Ward. I feel like they are going to destroy you guys. I don't think it's going to be like last year, but college football is college football. You got Florida versus number 5 Texas. They will not have Lagway or Graham Mertz. That's going to be a tough one. You got Miami versus Georgia Tech. That's going to be a tough one. Duke last week versus Miami. I thought that was a good game. Ohio State versus Penn State last week was like I said, it felt the same way watching Ohio State versus Oregon. But Ohio State plays Purdue. They should destroy them. Clemson plays Virginia Tech. Clemson crapped the bed against Louisville this past weekend. And I hate it because I've been a big fan of Clemson's offensive coordinator, Mr. Riley, Mr. Garrett Riley. But just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he lost them the game. I'm just saying, been a fan of Clemson for that because, I mean, I love seeing a good offensive coordinator. But I think it's going to be big for Clemson to kind of dominate the rest of the season to put themselves back into that talk and to help them out in that ACC championship. Octavian says Florida will upset Texas. If you guys had Lagway, I could see it just because of how explosive you guys were. I think even against Georgia, you guys were whooping tail. Your defense isn't as bad as people made it out to be honest. Yeah, of course, you got Georgia versus Ole Miss. See, Indiana versus Michigan. I've said in the offseason, the two teams that I thought were going to be terrible this year were Michigan and Florida State. Michigan and Florida State, to me, I thought were going to be the two teams that weren't very good, and a lot of that has to do with it. You can't think with emotion when it comes to college football. Florida State lost so many guys, dude, and they lost a bunch of guys to the portal, the draft, and the portal. We knew that. You're not just going to come in with a bunch of backups and freshmen and just all of a sudden be great. And then you had Michigan, the same thing, lose their head coach, lose another assistant coach, a key assistant coach, lose a bunch of guys to the portal and to the draft. Same exact thing for them. And I think Indiana beats Michigan easily. Colorado versus Texas Tech. I think I'm going to pick Colorado to win just because Colorado is showing that they are on fire right now. They continue to make everybody mad, which is comical to me. And it's just one of those things. Everybody thought they'd be terrible this year, and that winning 4 games last year wasn't good. Well, you won 1 the year before. You won 4 last year. Now you're on pace to win 9 or 10. But guess what? It won't be good enough. People, hey, listen, dude, Colorado, they didn't really play that many good players. It's like, dude, all right, calm down, Jamal. South Carolina plays Vanderbilt. Feel bad for Vanderbilt because they are doing very good right now. They're hot as well, but I feel like South Carolina's winning that game. South Carolina's done a very good job of playing well when they need to. They just can't stay consistent. Tennessee plays Mississippi State. Tennessee's going to win by 47,000. Oregon plays Maryland. Same thing. Alabama versus LSU at LSU. Yikes. Brian Kelly always finds a way to lose big games, so I could see that game going in Alabama's favor. Florida State plays Notre Dame. I don't see any way that Florida State beats Notre Dame. I think Florida State has a few good players, but not. I mean, you guys have seen the way their season has gone. There's no way they're beating Notre Dame. Boise State got the Heisman front runner and running back Ashton Genty. He's going to run all over Nevada. It's not even really going to be a game. Pittsburgh versus Virginia. But we'll watch it. I think a lot of us will watch that game. You got Washington versus Penn State. Penn State, I think, is terrible. I would not be surprised if they lost this game. I would not be surprised if Washington kept it close. BYU, I believe, is undefeated. Yeah, they're 8-0. It's crazy, and they're only number 9 in the nation. They'll play Utah, who's 4-4. It's not a very good win, but it's a win regardless. Then you got Utah State versus Washington State. No, I have no idea what Washington State is about. So you got a decent slate of games. I think for the Florida game, I'm going to end up choosing. Florida game, I think I'm going to end up choosing Texas, maybe by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I don't know if it'll be a blowout. Would like to see Texas kind of get back into that being on fire deal. I think the Georgia game kind of humbled them a little bit. It's kind of time for them to get back at it. Let's see what else we got. Georgia. I'm going to pick Georgia to beat Ole Miss. I'm gonna say 2 touchdowns. I want to say more, but if Carson Beck throws 7 interceptions again, then that's it's gonna ruin that. Um, that's pretty much it. There's not really any great games out there. Uh, I'm wondering who game day is gonna be at. I guess they've already announced it. I need to look it up, but I would think it's gonna be Georgia versus Ole Miss, unless they're trying that. Oh, it'll be Alabama versus LSU. Yeah, I could see that. Even though you got number 2 versus number 16, uh, I think it's going to be there. College game day. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be at the LSU Alabama game, which I get it. I think that's great. It's great for college football. Um, I'm wondering how Pat McAfee is going to handle that. So that'll be fun. But either way, just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about some college football. Last thing I'll say about the whole, uh, Georgia playing against Ole Miss is you got Georgia has on defense. Their defense has applied 123 quarterback pressures, and if I'm correct, Ole Miss has applied 230. That's nuts. Because when Carson gets pressured, bad things happen for Georgia. Um, so, like I said, we've got that piece to it. I don't know necessarily what the next step is for Georgia when it comes to all of this, but I just hope Carson can get it together, have a decent game, throw for over 200 yards. I mean, at one point he was averaging 300 yards a game. Now it just seems like it's super, super tough to just be able to get that. So I don't know. Like I said, you guys let me know if you know any other thing to do about Mr. Carson Beck. I think it's just going to be a tough outing. I'm going to post this. I don't know if anybody wants to come on, but let me post this real quick. Boom. There's the StreamYard. I forgot to reach out to Fish and Football. I think it'd be nice to get him back on. I haven't heard from him in a while. Oh, but I don't know. Things have just kind of been crazy lately. Life has been super busy. It's been good. It's been really good lately, but it's just been super busy all over the place, and I hate it. I feel like YouTube is taking a hit on that. I really don't get to watch anybody's shows anymore. I try to listen to some of them afterwards, but that's tough. So it's like I said, it's been tough. But it's life. Things happen. And I guess now it's just the thought of what's next. And so I'm going to try to do my best to record a video here and there. I'm going to get back to trying to post and balancing things out left and right. And we'll see how these next few weeks go. I know they'll be crazy. Some things are going to be moving around, but we'll deal with it. We'll definitely deal with it. But yeah, look, I'll let you guys go. Okay. Appreciate you. And I guess I will see you guys pretty soon. Go Dogs.